Good evening, great writers and content developers out there. It's me, your master tutor James, welcoming you to another session where we interact to become better writers and content developers, where we can give better ideas to our clients and to those who read our work and to those who get impressed with what we reel out. It's been a while here. I understand that I've got to take some time off to attend to a few things that border on content development, on writing, and on you, writers out there, so that those who read what you put out can get inundated and get super excited. Um, this session is sponsored by Clean Agent. Clean Agent is your one-stop app that connects dry cleaning service providers to their service users. So it comes with a wide range of features. You have location-based feature, you have in-app referral system, you have secure payments, you have push notifications, you can track your order at your convenience. So it's no more the old way of doing things. This is a modern way of doing laundry service. So all you just need is to make an order online, choose the service you want. And once you choose the service you want, it gets delivered to you promptly, and you'll be reminded where your order is and the status of your order. Why not give it a try? Because this is what I use, and it's been very, very effective. In fact, this is the most efficient dry cleaning and laundry service app I have ever seen. So why not give it a trial and let us see how that pans out. But I can assure you, Clean Agent is the way to go. So as a go-to guy, Clean Agent is available on the Apple Store, on Google Play Store. Download is free. Sign up is free. And that's great. All right. What am I about this evening? I'm about something that it is not new, but it is new in a way because a lot of writers don't take cognizance of certain things that may not make their work or their writing impressive. I'm about plagiarism. What is plagiarism? Plagiarism for me is a professional or a mild way of expressing stealing, burglary, robbery, larceny, and so on. So instead of saying you steal my work, then I say you plagiarize my work. It's just to make it look professional, but essentially the meaning of plagiarism is stealing, is burglary, and it is robbery. In fact, the definition of Jean Little put paid to all the ambiguity about plagiarism. What does Jean Little say? Jean Little says plagiarism is a word which puts the victim in a panic and the perpetrator in hot water. What does that suggest? The victim is the original content writer. The perpetrator is the one who steals, is the one who boggles. It is the one who robs the original content writer of his intellectual property. And I have to bring that academic word. Intellectual property is mostly used in academic world to define that which someone owns as the product of his or as a product of his creative ingenuity. So plagiarism is bad. It is wrong. It is unprofessional. It is immoral, and it belittles the person who duplicates. Yeah, you may find some excitement in the interim, but in the final analysis, you find out that you are not happy from within. When you discover that your work is not, you are not the original owner of the work you put out there. So I'm going to divide this section into two. One part has to do with how you can avoid plagiarism, and the other part has to do with how you can be original. the first part. How can you avoid plagiarism? Without understanding of plagiarism as robbery, how can you avoid stealing somebody's intellectual property? All right, and I'm going to be specific about content writing, especially content that go into websites, content that go into blogs. Um, there are 5 tips, but I'm going to be teaching you 3 today. One, how can you avoid plagiarism or plagiarized content? The first thing you must realize is that you have to paraphrase correctly and accurately. Paraphrasing means that you pick certain sentences and put them in your own word. Writing original content does not suggest that you are writing a different idea. Of course, many have said that there is nothing new under the sun. But those things that have been written, you are reproducing them in your own way, communicating it in a different style, such that what has been said before is beginning to appear like something new. So, as a writer, you must paraphrase accurately. There are there's a wide variety of words out there you can use. So rather than using and picking up words and dumping it into your own content, you paraphrase it. Because Google algorithm has a way of detecting plagiarism, and so many other plagiarism checkers, like you have the Copyscape, like you have the EduBedi, like you have the Grammarly, you have the plug scan, and so on and so on. So they have a way of detecting a content that has been duplicated. If you have 5 words in a sentence, for example, in an existing content, and the person who is writing a new one picks up those words and dump it into whatever he's doing, Google algorithm will find it out. In fact, Copyscape will analyze the various websites where you pick those ideas from. And that is why it is dangerous to pick words from an existing content and lift those words as they are and dump them into the new content you are writing. It is stealing. It doesn't have any other name. All right. So when you are paraphrasing, what you do essentially is to look at the idea from the website or the source you are picking it from. When you look at the sentence, what you do is to bracket that source, bracket the idea. Now understand, meditate on that idea. What is the writer communicating? What is it trying to send out? So when you have an understanding of the essential point, of the vital point of the communicator, of the original communicator, then you can put it in your own way, in such a way that it does not reflect, what you are writing does not reflect any of the words used by the original writer. And that is why a writer must be a reader, and a voracious and avid reader for that matter. So you don't limit yourself to a couple of words. Read as voraciously as you can. Read so many words, read so many things that will equip you with enough vocabulary that you can use, such that when you see animal, you can use wild. When you see so many other things that you can replace with some other words. So that is the first point. The second point has to do with that when you see a structure in a content, in an existing content, for instance, you don't follow the same structure, meta description, introduction, item 1, item 2, item 3, fact, and final thought, for example. I'm just giving that as an example of a structure of a title. When you see an existing content, try as much as possible to draft a completely different structure that will not be similar to what you have already. So if you have a different structure, it is easier for you to generate ideas, even ideas that are not inside the existing content. And of course, generating new ideas will suggest that you have a deep knowledge of what you want to write about. So that is why it is not just enough to just pick up the topic and just type it on Google search engine and get the result and start working. No, you've got to read, do some background check on the topic given to you. So when you do some background check on the topic given to you, it becomes easier for you because you have a background knowledge, and that background knowledge will set the foundation on which you can build the superstructure. All right. The third point that I'm going to make is that don't rely on one source. And this is the mistake a lot of content writers and content developers make. People just, because it is the most ranked site or it's the most ranked blog, they assume that, that it will contain the best, the most, or the best content. No. What you would do essentially as a writer who should also double as a researcher is to look at the first 5 or first 6 or first 7 websites that pop up or come up after searching for a topic. You have typed the topic on your bar. So when you type it and it comes up from the internet, then there are 5 or 6 sites that have content related to what you want to write. So what you do essentially is to pick up each of those sites, click on them and let them open. Once they open, then you begin to compare and contrast their different ideas, the different structures, such that when you pick site A, you go to site B, you go to site C, you go to site D, and so on and so forth. So harness and harmonize the various ideas in those sites without necessarily copying any of the structures, without necessarily copying any of the sentences used by the existing writers in those sites and blogs. You must be unique, and that's what makes you a writer. That uniqueness, it's what defines you as a writer. A writer that does not have a unique selling point it's not a writer, it's just a duplicator. So you must avoid using one site or one source. So as many as you can, lay your hands on different sources, lay your hands on different sites to generate your ideas. And in doing that, it gives you an opportunity and a leverage to write original content. So this is where I'm going to stop, because we have the second part, which deals essentially with how you can become an original writer. And I think that part you must pay close attention to it, because I'm going to be dishing out a few tips which will help you, which will guide you in writing top quality content. And I think that in doing that, we become better. We can improve in whatever we write out there. We can improve in generating better ideas, because your audience, the reader of your work, must be willing to come back over and over and over again to read your content, because content must be informative. It must be fact-checked. Remember, it must be informative. It must be fact-checked. It shouldn't be just a random writing because you want to write. No, it shouldn't be. It should contain relevant information that deal directly with the topic you are writing. Don't go off the topic, because again, by the time you are going off the topic, there is that tendency to be including what you are not supposed to include, and that will be flagged. Because in the final analysis, by the time you maybe as a result of a mental fatigue, what you just do is to just be lifting content from ideas that are not related to the topic you are writing, and that will be flagged by plagiarism checkers and even Google algorithm. So ensure you write related content, and ensure that whatever you are writing as the body of your work relate directly to what the topic is all about. So thank you.